Telkom Netball League is back this weekend for Power Week 2 taking place at the Sun City Super Bowl in the Northwest Province. This is from the 13th until the 17th of June. As six-time champions, the Gauteng Jaguars will be looking to correct the wrongs from the first week where they lost 3 matches out of the 6 played. Joining us now for a preview via Zoom is the Jaguars head coach Rozanne Matthyse on the line to speak to us, of course, about the first Power Week and now looking ahead to the second Power Week where a lot of netball will be played by all the teams partaking in the Telkom Netball League. Coach Rozanne, a very good morning to you and thank you so much for your time. Let's sort of reflect back though on the first Power Week. How tough was that on your team? 4th position on the log, having lost to the Fireballs, the Crinums, as well as the Northwest Flames. Unfamiliar territory for your side to be on a 4th position on the log. What takeaways do you take from that first week?
Look, going into that first leg, we didn't really have a lot of preparation. I think we had 3 weeks going into the league. And also it's a relatively new team. So going into the league, I knew, we're going to use each match to just build on. And for the team also to familiarize themselves with different combinations. Yeah. I'm happy that we still stuck in, or stayed into that top log, the top 4. And yeah, we have been here before in 2023 when we took the championship. We also lost against the same teams.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll chat on that, né? We'll reflect on that as well. But I sort of want to go back to what you said earlier on about the fact that this is a new squad. You've lost a couple of players, many players obviously, that have been part of the success of the Gauteng Jaguars in the last couple of seasons, having dominated this league for the past 6 seasons, 6-time champions. Did losing about 10 to 12 players not cripple your team, though? I mean, it gives the youngsters, other players, a chance to play, but losing the experience in the first leg, did that not cripple your team?
I wouldn't say cripple my team, but definitely made a huge difference. I think my core stayed the same. The defense stayed the same. Basically, the only place where we lost a lot of players is in our midcourt, and it is a crucial place. And like you said, it gives an opportunity for youngsters to just, get their time and their opportunity in this platform as well. So, yeah, it was a challenge for me as a coach, to start from scratch and only have about 4 that played, in last year's team. But I also see the positive in that as well, that the backbone of the team is still there, and they are now, just handing over the baton to new players coming up. And every coach has to face that sometime in their coaching career.
Yeah, obviously now building up to the second Power Week of this competition, Coach Rozanne, any changes in the mindset, in the preparation, in the strategy? And I ask that because you played teams that obviously beat you in the first leg. How do you then go about rectifying the wrongs from the first leg going into this Power Week?
Look, losing matches, that's when you learn, defeat makes you learn, makes you think about things differently, makes you look at things differently, ask the questions. And that's what we did. We had 5 weeks in preparation now, very confident in the 5 weeks that we had. And every week for me, there's things that we had to focus on. We started with the basics. Last year, the one thing that was at the back of my mind was that our error rate, and it's going to, catch up with us. And this year, I wanted to make sure that going into the second leg that we get that down. And yeah, very proud of what we've achieved. Having 2 sessions to go into before we take on the second leg. But it's been a great preparation for us.
What can you tell us about Kamogelo Maseko? Is she returning in the second Power Week? Because I did see pictures on social media a couple of days ago in that training camp that you had with your players, and I see Kamogelo as part and parcel of that team. Can you confirm that she will be part and parcel of the second Power Week?
Yes, Kamogelo has been part of our preparation journey for the past 5 weeks. And look, I don't have to say much about her. She just brings a different vibe in the team. She's such a positive player and creative player, and exactly what we needed on attack. I think, it's going to be great, and I can't wait, to play our first match, to just set a standard for ourselves as well in that first in the second leg. But yes, Kamogelo has been part of us for the past 5 weeks. She has been preparing well. She's looking great, and great player to have back in our team.
Do you think she was the missing link for the Gauteng Jaguars coach in that first leg of the Power Week? Her experience was certainly missed in that first Power Week, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely. I mean, Kamogelo has been part of our team for 2 years now, so she brings a lot, of experience, international experience. So definitely, we missed her and we felt it. In saying that, I do think that she being back, she's just lifting everybody's game around them as well, because now everybody can just do their own jobs and not focus on doing somebody else's job. So yeah, it's a good place to be. And in our attack, that was really a headache for me, that I feel a little bit more comfortable and confident in.
All right, as we wrap up this conversation, Coach Rozanne, talk to us about how do you then balance the mental as well as the physical demands of this league when it comes to the Power Week, because there's a lot of netball that's being played, not much rest also for the players. I think there's just one rest in a week and like 2 matches sometimes in a day. How do you balance the physical as well as the mental demands for your players in the Power Week?
Look, we've got a great team of management, and physio that works together. And yes, the first leg was hectic on them. It was really back-to-back matches, 2 matches per day on some of the days. So that was new for us because we're not used to that load. But I think these players are very conditioned. They're senior players. They know what they need. They know when they need it. And as a coach, I do listen to my players. We do have, a lot of conversations as to how you're feeling. In a Power Week like that, usually we'll have a training session at night just to run through things. And we haven't had that because it's too demanding and the intensity is too high on their bodies. But we've done well with that. We've recovered well. And also coming back, going into the second leg, I mean, I see them twice a week and have 2 hours of really intense sessions, and they're still back at their clubs. So it's important for the communication and collaboration between the different coaches that we make sure we look after our players. And we've done that very well with the Jags and with Tucks, with TUT and with JNA as well, where the other players are coming from. And they've had good recovery, good rest. Like I said, we still have 2 sessions tonight and tomorrow evening before we go into the second leg.
Rozanne, thank you so much for your time this morning on the AM Report. Rozanne Matthyse, of course, is the head coach of the Gauteng Jaguars. They're speaking to us about their preparations for the second Power Week of the TNL, getting underway this weekend and concluding officially on the 17th of June.